Hello everyone, bonjour tout le monde. My name is Andrea MacFarlane-Grieve and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make a French Acadian meat pie, commonly known as tourtiere. I grew up in a family with two cultures. My father was a proud Scotsman and my mother was a true French Acadian. The Acadians are descendants of the French settlers who came to the northeastern region of North America, comprising of the Canadian Maritime provinces of New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and Prince Edward Island, as well as the Gaspé Peninsula in eastern Quebec and the Kennebec River in southern Maine. My grandfather, on my mother's side of the family, was a Gallant, and my grandmother was an Arsenault, both families who have been in Canada since approximately 1660. One of the traditions kept up by my family was the enjoyment of meat pie at Christmas time. On Christmas Eve, after going to church, we would always come home and enjoy a piece of tourtiere with our favorite beverage. My father enjoyed tourtiere as well because meat pies are also part of the Scottish tradition. If you look up tourtiere on the internet, you will find many different variations. Some are made with full roasts of beef and pork, and spices can vary from recipe to recipe. My mother would occasionally make a meat pie with rabbit. Today, however, I'm going to show you a simplified version of tourtiere, which can be easily made with basic ingredients found at your local grocery store. Please remember that I'm not Rachel Ray or Madame Benoit, although I'd like to be able to bake and cook like them. So, let's get cracking. Before starting anything, make sure your hands are clean and that your working surfaces and utensils have been properly sanitized. Part 1 is to make pie crust. You can buy a pre-made pie crust at the grocery store, but I prefer to make mine from scratch. Some people like to use shortening as a base, but for a meat pie, I prefer to use lard. Here is what you will need to make the dough for your pie crust. 5 cups of flour, a pound of lard, 1 egg, water, vinegar, and salt. This will make enough dough for approximately 4 full-size pies. Start by placing the softened lard into a large bowl and breaking it up into small pieces. Once you've done that, start adding the flour and the sugar into the mixture while continuing to keep it crumbly by using a pastry cutter. The next step is you want to add your egg into an 8-ounce glass of water and add 1 teaspoon, or tablespoon I should say, of vinegar. Cut your liquid mixture into your crumbled pastry a little bit at a time and just mix it in. Once this is completed, you will have enough pie dough to make 4 full-size pies. Cut your dough into 4 sections. You'll want to take your dough and put it into saran wrap or a Ziploc bag and refrigerate it until you're ready to use it. You can also freeze it for use at a later date. Part 2 is your meat mixture. Here is what you will need. 1 pound of ground beef, 1 pound of ground pork, 1 large or 2 small potatoes, 1 medium-sized onion, 2 cloves of garlic, pepper, salt, sage, cloves, and celery salt. When making your meat mixture, first start by taking your onion and cutting it up into small pieces that look like this. Do the same with your garlic cloves. Take your potato, peel it and cut it into small pieces and put it in a pot of water to boil. Fry your ground beef, your ground pork, and your onions in a large frying pan until the meat becomes brown. Once your meat has browned, add in your garlic and cook for a few more minutes until the garlic becomes soft. Next, drain any excess fat off of your meat mixture. Now you are ready to add your spices to your meat mixture. You will want to add 1/4 teaspoon of sage, 1/4 teaspoon of celery salt, 1.5 teaspoons of regular salt, 1/4 teaspoon of ground pepper, and just a pinch of cloves. Now you will want to turn your attention to the potatoes. Boil potatoes until they can be easily punctured with a fork. After that, drain off the water and mash the potatoes. The next step is that you will want to add your potato mixture into your meat mixture. You want to add just enough potato to hold the meat mixture together, but not enough to make the meat mixture soggy. The next step is to roll your pie dough. To do this, you will need a pastry mat, a rolling pin, a pie plate, some flour, and of course, the pie dough that you made earlier. Start by taking a bit of flour and putting it on your pastry mat. This will stop your pie dough from sticking to the pastry mat. Next, take half of the pie dough that you made and start rolling it with your pin. Same applies to your pin. You might want to put some flour on that just to stop the pin and the dough from sticking together. You now want to get your pie dough off of the pastry mat and into the pie plate. Pick up one edge and just roll your pie dough around your rolling pin. Slide your pie plate in and move it on top. Empty your potato and meat mixture into the pie plate. Similar to before, take the other half of your pie dough and roll it out. Now what you want to do is take that pie dough and use it for your upper crust. Move in the pie, slide the pie dough on top, and then crimp it with either your fingers or fork. This basically seals the two layers of the pie dough together. Once the pie has been fully crimped, take a fork and make a few puncture holes on the top. What this will do is will stop the pie from bubbling when the crust starts to cook. If you want to, you can also put either chives or maybe parsley flakes on top, just for a little bit of decoration. Preheat your oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. When it gets to temperature, take your pie and place it in the oven. You will now want to cook the pie for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, change your temperature to 350 degrees and cook the pie for approximately 25 minutes or until the crust is golden brown. Your pie is now cooked. When serving your meat pie, two popular condiments are fruit chutney and mint jelly. If you're not going to serve your pie right away, remember that it must be refrigerated in order to keep it safe for eating. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Bon appetit et joyeux Noël!